Alright guys, I'm glad I did not give up on this one. And the reason I'm saying I'm glad I didn't give up on this one is because when they first launched this fragrance, I was not able to buy it because it sold out just like that. But I put myself or my name on a waiting list. Finally, when they relaunched it earlier this month, I snatched it up because they sent an email saying it's going to be live again. They're going to make another drop or do another drop, and I finally bought a bottle. This is Fenty by Fenty. So Fenty Eau De Parfum by Fenty. If you don't know Fenty, it's a beauty brand started by Rihanna. But that's the extent of what I know. And I also know that this is under LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. And then on top of that, this is created by Jacques Cavallier, who is a in-house perfumer at Louis Vuitton. He's created all the Louis Vuitton fragrances. So, find out all about Fenty by Fenty coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about Fenty by Fenty. Fenty Eau De Parfum by Fenty, the first fragrance launch from this beauty brand that's owned by LVMH or is licensed under LVMH. And I'm glad that they are launching, you know, a beauty product like this, like a perfume that is created by a well-known perfumer. I guess there's other brands that do this, but this one actually I really wanted to try because it is created by Jacques Cavallier, and I do enjoy his fragrances and creations for Louis Vuitton. Although he does also fragrances for Bulgarian, which is also under LVMH, so he's kind of like working under this big conglomerate and creating fragrances. I was excited about this one, as I said, and I did miss out on the first chance. I did not know it was going to sell out. It sold out really quickly, as I said, but thankfully I was able to snatch it on the next drop. So I think if you go there now, it's sold out again, but you can sign up to get your, your bottle as soon as they drop it again. You know, I do recommend it, but let me tell you all about it. Before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I was not aware of Fenty until a year or so ago. I found out about it, and then I also was like surprised it was under LVMH. And the reason or how I found out about this is earlier in the pandemic when I was noticing these articles about how LVMH brands like Louis Vuitton, Geranium, Givenchy, and Dior were creating hand sanitizers to fight the pandemic. And I was looking up what brands are under LVMH, and I noticed Fenty, and I was like, I don't know what Fenty is. I think I might have heard about it, that it was Rihanna, but I had forgotten about it. But then I found out it was under LVMH, and I was surprised that Rihanna, who is this pop singer, who's got a brand under LVMH, so it's kind of a very well recognized brand, whereas artists or pop stars and things like that do launch celebrity fragrances. They don't go under the big conglomerates. But this is completely different. I believe that Rihanna has launched fragrances as a celebrity fragrance or fragrances. This is actually under a beauty brand she has started called Fenty, and that's what the difference is. And I think it's quality, and I'm enjoying this one. I really am enjoying this one. But here are the details of Fenty by Fenty Fenty Eau De Parfum by Fenty. As I said, it's created by Jacques Cavallier. Its price is 75 ml for 130. It is a 2021 launch, and it comes in Eau de Parfum concentration. So those are some of the basic details about this fragrance. Yes, it's a little on the pricey side for a smaller bottle. I do enjoy the color, I do enjoy the bottle, and it has the logo on top there. The color of the bottle, apparently brown is one of Rihanna's favorite colors. This is what I read, and I'm not going to give you a lot of details about Fenty. I just did a little research on the fragrance, and I learned that. And then the bottle does remind me of a cute little, apothecary kind of bottle, so I'm game for this one. It sprays great. It's kind of like Louis Vuitton's bottles, a very nice sprayer. Although this is a little misty compared to the Louis Vuitton fragrances as their sprayers. So this one does spray a little mistier than that, and than the Louis Vuitton fragrances, which do have a great spray. They spray really, really great. But I'm happy with the fragrance. Also, I should say it is unisex targeted, and I think her brand, I didn't really look too deep into it. I think they're mostly makeup and skincare, so I'm assuming those are also unisex. I haven't used any of her skincare or makeup products, obviously. So notes for this one, notes for Fenty are bergamot, coconut, geranium, magnolia, blueberry, tangerine, vanilla, musk, hyacinth, Bulgarian rose, incense, and patchouli. So lots of citruses along with flowers, and then also with the fruits. And basically that's the kind of fragrance this is to me. It's a very floral and focusing on the rose, but I feel like in this one, Magnolia competes with the rose. They're kind of going head to head, fighting to be the lead note in the fragrance, and it's turning out to be a great combination of combining the Magnolia with the rose. Roses are nice and beautiful here. I think the rose in here is jammy but slightly green, but I think the fragrance leans green to begin with. And then the Magnolia to me has, if you ever smell the Magnolia, you've picked them or actually gone near the tree and smelled them, especially when it's warm outside and it's baking under the sun. Once you put your nose to it, it's got a musky smell, but it's also got a very citrusy smell to me. It almost smells like lemony flowers kind of a thing. Not necessarily orange blossom or lemon blossom, more about the juice of the lemon. That's kind of what I get from Magnolias. So here I think it's a beautiful blend of the roses and the Magnolia, and as I said, I think they're fighting together, but you have this fruitiness here that's also there to kind of like contrast with the flowers that are like trying to be the lead note in the fragrance. There's a major tartness here, and of course they credit blueberries. I wouldn't say I would distinguish this as a blueberry note, but it's very, very tart and berry-like fruitiness in here. And it's really, really a nice contrast against the flowers. So the fragrance overall has a very tart quality, sour, juicy, and definitely fruity, contrasted with those flowers. Here's the thing that I am going to mention. Since this is created by Jacques Cavallier, who creates the Louis Vuitton fragrances, on my initial spray, I thought to myself, this is reminding me of a fragrance. And sure enough, to me, it reminds me of Louis Vuitton's Apogée a little bit. So Apogée is known for the white flowers, and there's a major dosage of magnolias in that fragrance. Here I think the magnolias are transferred over from that fragrance to this. They're not identical fragrances. It'll just remind you of one another if you have worn that particular fragrance and you're trying this one for the first time. But along the way you also experience lots of musk. There's a major muskiness with this fragrance, and then the tangerine. And I think the tangerine adds its tartness to the fragrance, and I think the overall fragrance experience is, to me, tart, a little sour, tanginess comes to mind, and the fruitiness all kind of going together with the tangerine and of course the blueberries and then the two flowers. But some patchouli comes in as well, and you know, I think overall, I think it's a great release. Negatives for this one would be, since it is unisex targeted, it does lean feminine. I wouldn't call this a very feminine fragrance, but it leans feminine. And of course, the Louis Vuitton version of fragrance I'm talking about, Apogée, is a feminine targeted release. But I think anyone that's confident with wearing white flowers and then fruits and of course, you know, rose and things like that should be happy with this, because I really think it's a great smelling fragrance. I really love the way it smells, and it wears nicely on me. It is a little subdued. It's not beastly. It doesn't have a lot of projection. It is definitely on the soft side, spicy edge of fragrances. So it's not a fragrance that's going to you know, overwhelm. It won't overwhelm whatsoever, because it has this softness to it. Even though you experience this tart, juicy, tangy fruitiness with the flowers, it is definitely on the soft side. So if you don't like really loud fragrances, this should satisfy. If you're into beast mode, this might be a little setback for you. But as a smell, I think the smell is really, really nice. It's a great smelling fragrance, and I think they've accomplished a great smell for a first fragrance from Fenty, which is a you know, beauty brand started by Rihanna. One other thing I should mention, when I'm wearing this one, after it develops on me, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a cacao chocolate dusting as I'm wearing it. It develops not right away, and then my nose thinks that it's kind of like this powdered chocolate that's dusted on all this kind of flowers, the tart fruitiness of the blueberries and the citrusy tangerine notes. So there is a little bit of a chocolatey touch in here, and I think it's coming from that patchouli note, the earthiness, and then how you know, patchouli kind of takes on that effect. But there is just a little bit of vanilla in here. I think the two together is what's creating this kind of like light chocolate dusting on top of the tart fruitiness. I really do enjoy it. I think it's a solid release. I think Jacques Cavallier did a really good job for creating something really special for a beauty brand. And of course, even though it reminds me a little bit of Apogee from Louis Vuitton, I think it's different enough to own separately, because the fruitiness of the blueberries, I think, is what makes this fragrance stand out. Even though we've experienced, you know, fragrances with roses and magnolias, blueberries are rarely coming up or showing up in fragrances, and I think this is a breath of fresh air for this fragrance. So I do recommend this one if you can get your hands on it. It's a great smelling fragrance. Definitely wears soft though, so it's perfect for those that don't like really loud fragrances. One other thing I should say, I sprayed some on recently, and I walked downstairs, and the concierge lady that was there really loved the way I smell. She said, "Oh my God, what is that fragrance you're wearing?" So we got to talking, and then I went upstairs and grabbed my bottle and brought it down, and we started having a conversation about this particular fragrance and how she doesn't really wear, you know, strong fragrances, and she sticks to like inexpensive fragrances, but they don't last on her, she said. And she said as soon as she smelled this, she thought it smelled really nice and it would have great longevity with the way it smells. It smells very luxurious, she said. Anyway, that's something that I encountered wearing this one one of the times I was wearing it. It does go down pretty fast, as you can see. I've used up pretty much a lot of it because I really am addicted to the smell. It's a great smelling fragrance, and for me, fragrance is mostly about the smell. I'm addicted to smells, and then later I will, you know, is it a beast mode fragrance or is it a skin scent kind of thing? This is not a skin scent, but it's definitely a soft wearing fragrance. Anyway, that's Fenty Eau De Parfum by Fenty. That's my thoughts on this fragrance. Have you tried it yet? Have you tried to buy a bottle? Has it been sold out? Or you have one and you've been wearing it? What are your thoughts about it? Let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video, today's review on Fenty Eau De Parfum by Fenty. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Guys, I wanted to do a quick update to my review for Fenty by Fenty. This one right here. And this is something I don't usually do, go watch other reviews, but as I was putting together my video for this fragrance, I decided to go and check out other reviews because, you know, I haven't really heard anybody talk about it, so I got very, very curious. I watched a couple of reviews. Actually, I watched 3, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I started watching it, and all those reviews were from August, and I think that's when this first became available for purchase. So I noticed there are some differences between this particular drop in December versus the August drop, which the videos I watched were from. They had different boxes. So the box I received my fragrance in is a very flimsy box, not very elaborate like the last drop in August. The 3 videos, as I said, I watched had a more elaborate box. It was a little more cardboard, a thicker kind of a cardboard stock, and it opened up and it revealed the fragrance on both sides. This is actually very simplistic and very lightweight, so it's gotten much cheaper for them to put something like this together and to give us something that is not wasteful, because I felt like the other one, even though it was much more of an elaborate box, is definitely a lot more wasteful with this one. It's very flimsy, so it could be recycled, shredded, and things like that, and there won't be any problems with it. But here's the kicker. The first drop, and this is something I did not notice because I went to buy it in August when they first did their drop, and it was instantly sold out, as I said. So when it got dropped again in December, I got a notification that it was happening. I made sure to wait to buy the fragrance. But I noticed that the people that were reviewing the fragrance in August mentioned $120. This has gone up in price to $130 from August to December. So that's $10 increase with the, you know, the reduction and the change in the packaging, which actually is a cheaper, I mean, it's a reduction cost-wise, it's reduced for them, because this is most likely a lot cheaper to produce than the previous box, which was, as I said, a lot more elaborate. So they're not only raising the price up, they're actually cutting their costs down to give us this. You know, I don't mind this box. I just wanted to point it out to you guys that it is a lot cheaper, it is a lot flimsier, but I don't mind it because we're not getting something like ultra elaborate, like something like a Eau De Parfums or Xerjoff. This is very simplistic fragrance, so I don't think the extra, you know, packaging was necessary for this particular fragrance. But the fact that they've actually increased the price of this fragrance from $120 to $130, I felt like is a little tacky. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have any you know, comments or anything to say about this particular scenario. Let me know. Did you end up buying a bottle back in August when they first dropped it, and was your box more elaborate than this? And so if you didn't do that and you were able to buy it in December, most likely you got this, unless they had some of the other. But I don't know, that's just something I wanted to report back. And as I said, I usually do not watch other reviews because I don't want to be influenced. I just don't like being influenced when I review fragrances, when there's a whole group of people like saying this amazing thing about a fragrance, and I watch it, and even though I think the fragrance sucks, I'll end up being influenced by everybody else saying it's great, and I just join in. And I don't want to do that. That's why I don't usually watch reviews. So I was okay to do it since I was in the process of, you know, editing and putting together this video. So since I did watch it, I wanted to report back to you guys and let you know. Let me know if you have experienced this. Let me know if you've noticed this. And are you okay with the cheaper box and the price hike from $120 to $130? Anyway, put a comment down so I can find out. Thank you. Bye-bye.